Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm here to talk about Supernatural, episode 12012, titled Stuck in the Middle with You, which premiered Thursday, February 16th, 2017 on the CW. It's about 30 minutes after the episode ended for me, so I wanted to get right into it. So, huge spoiler alert, guys. If you haven't seen the episode, first, I suggest you go do that before you come see what I have to say about the episode. The episode was done in a very different manner this time around, so it's very interesting to see, so go check that out first. Otherwise, my other video reminders are on screen right now, so have a moment to remind yourself of those. And then with that said, let's start the 10-minute clock and let's begin with what happened in this episode. So this episode was directed by Richard Spade Jr. once again. He brings a little bit more of a different style with the directing, which I'll get into in one moment. But timeline-wise, I have no clue how long it's been since the previous episode, how long it's been since any other landmarks that we'll have, so unfortunately there's that. Huge reminder for the episode though is the fact that we are introduced to the princes of hell. We actually get to meet one in this episode. So episode breakdown, it's really just one main storyline, and it was the fact that the case that they were led on, which they thought was a demon case, and it turns out to be the prince of hell by the name of Ramil. Now, this episode, though, takes the same case and it shows us in many different points of view. So we get Castiel's point of view, we get Mary's point of view, we get Crowley's point of view, and a few point of views are shown kind of like as a main point of view, and then all the other specific point of views kind of make snippet references back to the main event, if you will. So from Castiel's point of view, we not only get the initial fight with Ramil, but we also get Castiel getting stabbed by the Prince of Hell. In Mary's point of view, we find out that she's working with the British Men of Letters, and she's been saving a lot more lives because of it. But because of that, she was sent on this case to steal something from them, which is something that the prince wasn't very happy about. So there's that. And Mary also called in a fellow hunter named Wally so that Wally could call in Sam and Dean so they wouldn't be suspicious about Mary needing the help. So there's that. Also, we found out that Wally's more of a Rougarou expert than a demon expert. Through Crowley's point of view, we find out through a flashback to 6 years ago, which would have put us in season 6, just who Ramiel is, and the fact that this is how Crowley was appointed the new king of hell, since Ramiel gave him the quote-unquote crown, since he was supposed to be the next in line, but he didn't want anything to do with a throne. You also get name drops for Azazel, as well as 2 other princes of hell, a brother and a sister from the sounds of it. I didn't really catch their names though, but hopefully they're on screen. If not, and also we see Crowley giving the Lance of Michael and whatever Mary had stolen as gifts to Ramiel. I will reveal what she stole in just a moment. But also we see the final showdown where it showed Crowley trying to make a deal with Ramiel to kind of heat him off of going after Castiel and the Winchesters. We also see Castiel saying his goodbyes to the Winchesters, and we see the final fight with Ramiel. And then we see Crowley healing Castiel by breaking the lance from the sounds of it. So, tidbits though was the fact that Mary stole the Colt for the British Men of Letters. The Colt was actually last seen in action in episode 510 when Dean tried to use the Colt on Lucifer. We were also reminded in this episode that there are only 5 things that the Colt can't kill, otherwise it can kill anything. So there is that. And Tally, though, we get a demon who killed Wally, and we get Sam killing the Prince of Hell, Ramiel. So there's that. Now, most shocking moment of the episode, guys, was probably the last moment of the episode, and it was the fact that we find out that Crowley has Lucifer as his prisoner with, from the looks of it, his original vessel. Now, Lucifer's face is kept in the shadows, so we don't actually get confirmation whether or not it's Mark Pellegrino that's playing Lucifer again, but we get confirmation that it is Lucifer because of the red glowing eyes that appear out of the shadows. So he's back in the cage where he had originally put Crowley and kept calling him a dog and everything like that. So that was surprising, but a very exciting surprise for sure, since we all thought that he got expelled. We know he got expelled out of the president's body, but it wasn't sure whether or not he just found another one or if he had to go back to the cage or something like that. So anyways, moving on to the top 3 favorite moments. My favorite moment has to be Castiel's final goodbye. Very, very emotional. But he pretty much thanks Sam and Dean for everything they've been through together, how knowing them has been the best parts of his life, and he wanted them to run so that his last moments weren't of him seeing them die. He wanted them to be protected. And then to have Sam and Dean counter that they're going to stay because they're not just fighting for themselves, they're fighting for Castiel, and they're not going to leave him behind because, as he said, they are family. So it's just really great to see the dynamic between the three of them, and then also for Castiel to include Mary, but also just to see Mary witness just what this bond has become between her two sons and the angel who has always been there for them in the last few years. So it probably really put on more of the guilt for Mary because she's the one that brought them all into this, but it was really, I really liked how they had enough of a moment to have that happen before Ramil came charging in. Second favorite moment, I have to say, was the final fight scene with Ramiel. It was great to see all Winchesters going up against the Prince of Hell, and then just seeing them really give it everything they had to fight him off, and then to have Sam use the Lance of Michael against Ramiel and actually kill him. For a moment when he stabbed him, I thought it wasn't going to work, but then to have him smoke burn out from the inside out, because it then reminded me that Crowley had said that angels or demons would burst into smoke or they would die by the touch of the blade, and for angels they would be poisoned until their death. So it was like either way, angels and demons can be killed by the Lance of Michael. Ironic, since the lance created by an angel could kill other angels. So that fight scene was very fast, yet very cool to see it happen. And I kind of wish that it was Dean, though, that used the lance, just because he is Michael's original vessel. So it just would have been cool to see that happening. But my last favorite moment of the episode has to be Crowley actually saving Castiel, just by remembering the little bits that Ramil had told him 6 years ago about the Lance of Michael, and how he kind of figured throughout that how he could save Castiel, and it's just by chance that he broke the weapon in order to heal the angel. So I like that he stayed there long enough to work it out, and then to actually go through with it instead of like hesitating on whether, oh, should I break this weapon as a chance or should I just keep it in for myself type thing. So it was very interesting to see that in the end it was Crowley who figured out how to save Castiel. So there's that. Now, top 3 peeved moments. First one was that I didn't really like the fact that Sam and Dean still didn't know that Mary was working with the British Men of Letters. I thought that they would find out in this episode, especially with the synopsis that we were given. And also when Castiel had brought up Ramiel's accusations of one of them stealing from him, I thought maybe she would have confessed saying it was me, but Dean kind of says, like, who cares? Let's just go home and, like, wind down from this kind of case that they've been given. But, like, I was a little disappointed that the Team Free Will, the trio, weren't made aware of Mary's side dealings. Which leads me to my second peeve, was the fact that Mary gave the cult to the British Men of Letters, even though their bad intel almost got her and her family killed. I mean, if I was Mary and I was double-crossed like that, I wouldn't even give the cult to the British Men of Letters. I would blow off that meeting, or I wouldn't even bring it to them and say that, no, I had to give it up, and then, like I would lie about it, and, like, I would just keep it for myself, just because now more than ever, after that whole bad intel almost costing me my life and the life of the people I love, I wouldn't even trust giving a weapon like that to them. No way whatsoever. She should have given it to her sons. And does she even know the history they have with the weapon itself? I mean, so yeah, that was a little peeve that she actually handed it over to them. Granted, it allowed us to see what it was that she went through all that trouble and risked everyone's safety to get, but yeah, so there's that. What will I remember most? I look back on this episode. Let's talk about that. Well, it's really the close call that Castiel had. The fact that we got to meet a Prince of Hell, got a little bit more information about them. I have a think that we're going to see a bit more of that whole classification of demon in the future. But moving on to that, random questions. First one being that since Ramiel shared the same yellow eyes as Azazel, Does that mean that Azazel was also a prince of hell too? They mentioned that he was a general, similar to that, but the explanation in the episode was a little too fast for me to fully digest it. But if Azazel was also considered a prince of hell, then that would mean both Sam and Dean together have killed two of the princes then. Sam killed Ramiel and Dean killed Azazel. So just how many more are there? And are they going to kill them off one by one? Also, would Cain be considered a prince of hell as well? I can't remember what his title was, but they explained that the prince of hell, or the princes of hell, were demons that Lucifer turned himself. They were the first generation of demons, and they were trained to be the generals. So I'm just wondering if Cain kind of fits in with that, or if Cain was the leader of these princes, as it were. Next question. Could the tip of the lance of Michael still be used to kill demons? Like, it's not really a huge spear anymore, but the metal tip of it is still intact. So is it possible that they could forge it into a new weapon for themselves to use? Or did Crowley breaking through the halfway of the runes make it just a regular metal spear tip and not anything supernatural and such? Next question. Would Castiel's close call be considered the cosmic consequence that Billy was talking about, or is it something else that we have to worry about? And last question. As Michael's true vessel, I wonder if his lance would have had a preference to Dean. Plus, also with the fact that we had to deal with a weapon created by Michael, I was kind of hoping that Dean's status as Michael's true vessel would have come up, but it never did. But I'm wondering if that plays a part in any way. But moving on quickly though to predictions, based off the promo for 12/13, it looks like Kelly Klein returns and everyone wants a piece of her. It also looks like Crowley finds out the Winchesters let Lucifer's child live by having Kelly Klein disappear from their grasp. But based off the synopsis though, it looks like Sam and Dean are going to try to find Crowley's son instead. So it reads that when Sam and Dean look into a murder at a museum, they learn a ghost from a merchant ship that sank in 1723 may be the heart of the mystery. After realizing the star was the same ship that Crowley's son Gavin MacLeod should have been aboard, they enlist help from Rowena to track Gavin down. Kelly Klein, still pregnant with Lucifer's child, takes refuge with a demon after an angel attempts to kill her. So there is that. New question though. If Kelly, I still don't get why Kelly would want to protect the child of Lucifer's when even the angels are trying to kill her. I mean, shouldn't that be a clear sign that still carrying the devil's child is kind of like a no-no? So it's like, I could understand if it was just a regular angel's child, but with Lucifer being who he is and the reputation he is, why would you want to still continue forward with it? So there's that. I don't think I have any other questions or from the promo or from the synopsis itself though, but I'm hoping that Sam and Dean will clue in soon about Mary working with the British Men of Letters, or the fact that she stole the Colt. Maybe Crowley's going to have to go to Sam and Dean to find the Colt when he can't find it, or something like along those lines. Or when are Sam and Dean going to find out that Crowley has Lucifer as his prisoner? So I guess it's kind of a waiting game to see when any of those moments will happen. But that's about it, guys. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your own thoughts and theories about all that. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all that good stuff found in one place. So easy access for you there. So you can follow me there and check me out there, as well as any other shows I do that for. So there's that. Also, it's connected to my WordPress account. Everything's organized over there. It's still a work in progress, but I hope you check that out as well. If you want a detailed recap of the episode, a play-by-play, if you will, check out my Livejournal entry. The link for that is down below. You get my in-moments thoughts and questions and reactions as I watch the episode for the first time. With this episode in particular, because of all the point of view changes, I'm going to try to divvy up so it's a little more noticeable of where they do the changes from, or by scenes. Not sure exactly. I got to edit the format for that. But yeah, go check that out, and maybe it'll help you key in some details you may have missed, or maybe you can clue in some details I may have missed. But go check that out there. Otherwise, that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you come back next week to see what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wishing you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.